Hello, everyone. I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd. I'm a plant nerd. I'm still playing around with my new setup. So we're going to do something really low key today, and we're going to be quick. Lots of questions you can you can pop in if you like in the comments. Um, I'm located in Melbourne, in the Antipodean uh, Garden State of Australia. So we're going to be talking about my project for this year, and I had said I was going to show you all the plants that I'm going to use, but I've since had some thoughts. So I think what I might do is add in some extra, um, an extra show that's not in the morning to actually show you what I'm considering, and we'll start with a big list, and we'll whittle it down over time. Now, let me know in the comments because I'm seeing some latency on my monitor. Um, can you can you see me moving? Um, I'm a bit put off by that, so maybe I just want to make sure that everything's working. It seemed fine. Just let me know. Just let me know. Um, so. Let me get this. Is that going to work? There we are. That's what I was wanting to do for the whole time. All right. Now, hopefully, you can see me and you can see the presentation. No movement. Okay, that was what I was worried about, Betty. Um, if that's not working, you can hear me though, right? You can hear me. Um, uh, Hi, Betty, too, by the way. Um, this is annoying. Really need to sort this out. Okay, so you can hear me fine, but I'm frozen on the screen. I've really got to get on top of this. It works when I test it, and then it doesn't work when I am doing the actual live stream. Hmm. Okay. Look, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to waste your time while we're dicking around with this. I'll tell you what. I'm going to work on this. I'm really sorry because this is a pain in the neck. Uh, until my new screen, my second screen arrives, I can't watch what's happening. Okay, Sulphur Crested. Hello. Now, Sulphur Crested, tell me where you are. Um, Sulphur Crested, can you see me moving on the camera? That's what I would like to know. Um, like when I'm moving around, you should see two panels on the screen at the moment. You should see my front yard in uh, one side, and you should be able to see me um, with a bit of a background. So just let me know uh, if you can actually see me fine. We'll persevere, and if I'm moving and it's not like just uh, okay. So sulfur crested, welcome. I haven't seen you uh, in the chat before, so tell me a little bit more about you. And if you don't know about me, I'll tell you more about me. I'm a horticulturist, but I haven't worked as a professionally as a horticulturist for quite a while. I've been learning all the skills to do uh, media stuff. I taught myself how to podcast years ago, and now I'm learning all the skills that go along with that, with the cameras and improving the audio. And now I'm moving away from really simplified live streaming into a sort of studio setup, and I'm testing it on you guys. I bought a new computer, but in the configuration that I bought it won't run two monitors. So I got it set up to work with the monitor with my existing monitor and my new monitor, And of course, being new, it won't support my old monitor, so I've got to get a new monitor in. And anyway, usual rubbish. Um, so, but it's a good thing that it's a Saturday morning, and this is a casual kind of show compared to being a formal presentation. Let's let's have a look at at my front yard. Now I live in a unit. So what we're going to do this year, this is my plan. This front yard, this driveway, is the project. Now that's to give you an idea of the front. So there's the front door of the unit, and on the left, that window was a real problem for years with birds flying into it. So with the awning and the Japanese maple there, that seems to have ended. Now the other window is a front bedroom, and that front bedroom is well, because we're on a quite busy street, and there's a park across the road. That awning is always down, so bird strike on that one is not a problem. But the window on the living room, and there's a bird bath there. I have to be really mindful of bird strike. So there we go, just to give you another idea, and that's the other aspect. Now the area I'm going to be working on is the area in front of that fence. But as with every situation, you have when you're working on any project, there's limitations. Now my housemate has a mobility scooter, so I've only got to work with the maybe 1.5 meters, 2 meters in front of the boundary fence, because access is required for the whole time up and down the middle and the left side of the driveway. So, and the other thing you can see, it's concrete. So what can we do other than grow plants in containers? So that is the limitations of the site. I also can't get too big because that will upset my neighbours. And the main thing I want to do is to provide some habitat in this area, and I'll give you now a look at what lies sort of outside of the unit. Let's have a look at this. So there you go. That was the 360 view. Across from me is a park, and that's where I do all my first seen herds and where most of my urban birding happens. Now I'll run that again and see if you can determine the main problem with the park as being a place that provides habitat. Just have a look. What can you notice about this park? it through one more time, and particularly at the start. Have a look. All right, so we're back to the beginning. Let's we don't need that anymore, do we? So let's go back to me. Oh, back to me. There we are. Back to me. Uh, so what could you? There we go. Hey. This is great. Let's just let everyone know a bit about sulfur crested, two crested. Oh, am I back on? Yes, sorry, the mic dropped out. Just an ordinary bird lover. Nobody is ordinary. Nobody's ordinary. And the great thing about getting involved in things like this and with the rest of the sort of bird emergency content, all the guests, is you can just learn day by day. You can learn a little bit more every day. So uh, that's what we're hoping to do with sharing. Um, uh, I'm glad you've been checking out the Ricky talks. Now, Sulphur Crested, have you been on any of Ricky's tours? Um, uh, I'm vaguely remembering that somebody who was uh, jumping into the one of the streams with Ricky had been on one of the tours. Let me know. Now, you are right on the money. Uh, the problem with the park, when I first moved here, which is now nearly 10 years ago, in most of the garden beds, especially directly across from me, where there's a lot of nice eucalypts, there were some small callistemons and there were some acacias and I think there were some westringas from memory. There were some spots for small birds to hang out, but they were all removed a couple of years, probably six. Well, it's got to be 6 or 7 years ago now. So in the area, there's nothing, and I hope you could notice from the shot down the street, it's a very traditional area where most of the gardens that have survived are the typical fruit trees, lawn, maybe some roses, um, but no sort of wild places. And because of the development that's been happening here, every time a house sells, it gets completely knocked down and the whole garden gets pulled out. And they rebuild with some townhouses or some units. So one house becomes 2 units or 4 units or 3 townhouses. So it's the suburban creep. Now I'm not really against that because we have to have a move towards, in my view, we have to have a move towards more medium density and even high density living in areas that have already been cleared, so that we stop clearing new areas of bush to expand the suburbs. So that's a discussion for another time, which we will in fact be getting into in mid-January. I've got a couple of guests to talk about that issue coming on. But so many people are in the same situation as me in that they don't own the property around here that they're renting. So you're limited to using containers, pots. So we're going to go through that whole process, following along with me over the next few months, where we get started and we get you can see what I select, how I propagate them, or if I buy them, and then where I source them. So I'll let you know all of that. Self-accredited, I'm glad to see that you were in fact on one of Ricky's tours. Now, bear with me. I just want to let people know again that if you are on Twitter or X or LinkedIn, and I can see there's some people, I can actually see some people on Twitter, consider heading over to the Bird Emergency channel on YouTube, and you will then be able to participate in the comments. I know that you can read them, but you can't on Twitter. You cannot type in comments and ask questions. And part of the reason of doing this on a Saturday morning in this format is so you can ask me some questions if you're heading off down to the hardware store or your local nursery, and maybe you want to talk about something before you decide to buy it. So that's the point of view. So there in the comments you could copy that link to go straight to this stream, and of course when you're there, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe or follow, but subscribe. There's been some changes to YouTube, and I will be doing more content based on each individual platform. So, except for Twitter, Twitter won't be getting exclusive content. So, if you use YouTube, subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss anything. YouTube is the main hub for this format of stuff. The podcast is getting a revamp, and not all the content will go into the podcast. And Facebook is going to get its own special exclusive content each week, and the same with LinkedIn. But all this is kicking off in the new year. Probably we'll probably see most of the exclusive content starting when people are coming back to work. So we're talking about the middle of the month, middle of January. So that's something for you to bear in mind. Okay. Any questions? Any thoughts about about my location, my front yard? I do have a backyard, and it's very small, and I'll prepare a video about what I would like to do with the backyard. Because it's so small, and we have bins, we have a compost bin, we have a worm bin, and then we've got to have the clothes. We've also got a dog that lives here. We've got an area for the dog. So we're really, really limited in what can happen in the backyard as well. But I am going to be selecting a few special purpose plants in the backyard. Oh, and I didn't mention on the driveway and also on the front garden bed, we have the bird bath, but I'm also going to have a self-contained pond it's only small, but it's going to be for frogs. And also for birds to bathe in. That bird bath I have is very shallow. The magpies won't bathe in it. The pigeons won't bathe in it. So it's really only serving for some of the honey eaters and for the sparrows at the moment. So I do need something bigger and deeper. Thoughts? Thoughts? Questions? Comments? And I'll let you know too. I have scheduled a end of year stream for tomorrow. That's for Bird Emergency, to talk about really the conservation year. What were my thoughts of the year, and then we're going to do a fun stream hopefully on New Year's Day, which is really looking ahead and trying to be a bit hopeful. What do we hope for the year in terms of conservation and maybe how to climate change, following on from what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, hit me with the comments. Would you like me to come back later on today? No, I won't do that. What I will do, I will prepare a short video with the plants that I'm going to think about using, and then we'll do next Saturday, we'll have a conversation after you have looked at the video for I don't know, I've got a list of about 60 plants that I want to use, and I might do a little design, and you can comment about that. That might be a good idea. Yeah, that will be a good idea. So I think that's what we'll do. And we'll follow along. So now it's your opportunity. If you've got any questions, any comments, get them in now, and then if there are none, I will. I'll head off and do what I need to do today, and I'll see if I can get this issue that that Betty was having. Betty, if you're still here, Betty, have you been able to? Am I moving in Facebook now or not? Yeah. I may have to. I like using the platform that I'm using because it's really easy for me to get all your comments in and answer them in one place. But if it's the platform that is the problem with Facebook, I might need to split them out into three different screens. Okay, Betty, thanks for that. So I'm still stuck. So it seems to be a problem with Facebook because with Facebook. So because YouTube is performing as it's supposed to. Self-requested. Okay, yes. Self-requested has asked because, sorry, Betty, you can't see what's happening. So self-requested has asked, would I be able to cover which birds we're hoping to attract with each plant in the video? Yes, I can do even better than that because I'm not only trying to attract birds, I'm trying to attract specific insects as well. I would love, and I'll give some ideas too. If you're in an area where you do have native mammals and lizards and things, I'll talk about those as well. We're not going to see any animals. I don't think, and certainly the only ones that are around here are not desirable ones to attract. So I guess that's another thing we always need to discuss about the limitations of sites and the and what you can achieve. And it's why I ask everyone when we start the stream each day where you're from, because if you are in Darwin or if you're in Perth, now a lot of the plants that I'm going to mention are not perhaps going to be the best for you, but I can also suggest equivalents, substitutes that will be good for your area. And look, if you're international, we can work on that too. That's where the live stream experience is really good. And look, I can promise you when I have a second screen set up so that I can be researching on one screen while presenting on the other will make it much easier. But that's a little bit down the track. Um, Yep, self-accrested. I think if you've been watching the deep dives, you'll know that birds have um, utilised the layers in the landscape, both horizontal and vertical, for different purposes. And we've got shelter, we've got food source, we've got areas that birds will use just for communal hangout. Now, in my garden or that driveway, what I need to be doing is really providing shelter and some food browsing opportunities. So they're the two main things. Now, because they're in pots and they're on a driveway, and it's difficult for me to water them with an automatic timer. I can use like a reservoir in each pot or something like that, which we'll be looking at. But it's also open to the street, so I've got to expect that at some time people are going to nick stuff. So they have to be fairly drought tolerant, and I need to consider the containers that I use, so that they are less likely to be stolen. Also, I have other issues to consider for that spot, which is litter, like leaf litter, fruit litter, things like that, because there's going to be a mobility scooter coming in and out several times a day. Now, there is an opportunity for me to perhaps grow some plants in pots and give them to my neighbour on the other side, because they don't want to be bothered with any maintenance. So if I present them with plants which are good looking, screening, provide them something to look at, and flowers particularly, and nice foliage, that mean they don't have to come and prune them, and or if they don't like the plant, I can just take the pot away. Maybe we'll get that, maybe 1.5 2 metre artificial garden bed that's all pots. Let's call it a border. Maybe I can double it on the other side, which then does provide a reasonable opportunity for small birds to use it. And if it works in my location, well, then maybe I can find some neighbours further down the street who would like to do something similar with their driveways if they're not using them, or path areas at the front which they are not using. Because it's a very common situation where open space in these urban inner urban areas are not utilised. If people aren't using the path, it's just wasted space in a landscape and habitat sense. So, all right, there's a good place for me to ask you if you have any questions, any more comments. Betty, I'm really sorry that you haven't been able to watch my gorgeous, handsome face, or moving around anyway. I'm guessing I can see the frozen image that you're looking at. I think I'm looking at a possum in a hollow log. So we really need to get that sorted out. We really do need to get that sorted out. And I will work on that. I'll try and do some troubleshooting. But it doesn't seem to be an issue on YouTube. So actually I can Yep. So I do apologise for that, Betty. It's only It's only been a problem since I got the new computer. Maybe I will. Yeah, I will try and sort it out. Uh, and maybe Betty, if you might want to consider, um, you might want to consider joining on YouTube. I must admit, I would like you to subscribe on YouTube and watch on YouTube, because I'm trying to build the channel up to first 500 subscribers, which then lets me unlock some extra features which can make the streams a bit more interactive, and then the pathway onto 1,000, which gives me lets me unlock more features, because I want to make these streams much more fun. Now I can see that there is someone here on Twitch. Do any of you others who are watching now, do you use Twitch? Because I'm going to be doing exclusive Twitch streams, which are going to be less educational, far more conversational, and a lot more fun. So if you haven't dived in to Twitch, because it's gamers and the kids and everything, I can tell you there's a lot of other content now being created on Twitch, and it's a lot of fun, and you can do a lot more collaborating and interacting with people there. So that's just to give you a heads up of what's happening. Number 77 and just learning 70. Oh, okay, you're 77. I gotcha. Okay, Betty. I'm the reason I live stream to the different places is because I am mindful that people have their preferences of what they're used to using, and what I will do, Betty, if we can't solve this live streaming issue and the frame rate in YouTube, actually I think I probably can. But if I can't, I will be replaying all of these streams, but exclusively for Facebook. So you should be able to get all of the content, the movement, and it's just a recap of what we've done. But I won't be here live on the replays, and that way, at least you'll be able to see the video that of the site that we're going to be working on this year, and the stills, and to give you an idea, you'll just be able to catch up. I'll schedule that for for later today, probably in the afternoon, maybe about the same time as I can get the other video that I promised about the plants that I'm considering, and we'll get that up. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll go out and do all the things I've got to do. Betty, tell me more about what you are looking to get out of these habitat gardening streams, and are you a bird nerd as well? Like, are you checking out the other content, and like, are you in a unit, in a small in a house? Are you looking at plants to grow in containers, or are you looking to add to an existing garden? That's going to be a whole other topic in a few weeks. I'm just waiting to confirm. I think I've got an extra special guest coming on where we're going to talk about adding plants into an established garden, because that can be a challenge where people think that it'll mess up it'll mess things up. I hear that a lot. I haven't got room for any other plants. Well, yeah, there's always room. Generally not thinking about the kinds of plants that are available. So, but there's always room for another plant. Always. Uh, yeah. So, Betty, let me know that. Who's going? Who's got special New Year's Eve plans, or are you doing what I'm doing, which is staying at home, keeping away from all the issues that can arise, and I'm going to be streaming on. But it probably won't be to Facebook, Betty, on New Year's Eve. I can say, okay, Betty, what have you told me? You're a bird nerd and planting lots of natives, working on 131 acres near Goulburn Valley, near Goulburn. Oh, Betty, you were on the. We were exchanging comments about 2 weeks ago. Am I right? Very frosty in winter, planting lots of waratah. Okay. Okay. We need to. Well, we will do an episode talking about frost tolerant plants. Betty, have you got? I mean, 131 acres. That's amazing. Is it a working property? Is it a farm, or is it just an area that's sort of reclaiming itself to bushland? You sound like you might be near. I think Betty, I think we'll do something specifically for your region. Let me work on that. It'll take a couple of weeks. I might have a good guest who is doing something in your area on a large scale as well. So that might be really, really good. I will add too. I am setting up a habitat gardening channel on YouTube, and I will be over the next few months separating out the habitat gardening material and putting it on that channel. And I will start a Facebook page as well, so that you can still watch on your favourite channel, favourite platform, but it will be taken away from this channel, just letting you know, because the algorithms don't like it when you add everything together. But the live streams in the interim will go to both, but over probably by the end of the financial year, probably by the end of June, I will have moved all the habitat gardening stuff, except when we are talking about it in the context of like shows like the Monday with Holly and yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you'll understand. It'll all make sense as we get along. Okay, so Betty did message a few weeks ago. No cows, only native animals. /70 acres. Wow, that Betty, that sounds absolutely amazing. I'm super jealous, very jelly of you. What an opportunity! Do you have a bird list for the area already, Betty? And have you got some eager helpers to help you get do any of the work, the maintenance work? Putting in new plants. Really interested. Really interested in your project. I'd love to have 70 acres to be building into habitat, and you'll be able to. I mean, you've got gangs that you should be able to get in the area, But do you have a bird list for your property? That is what I'm really interested to find out. Okay, I think that's. I'll just wait a couple more minutes to see if any more questions come in, and if Betty can fill us in with if she's got a bird list. Self-requested. I hope you're going out and doing something today. For the Twitter, there's quite a few Twitterers or X's who have been with us. Do consider joining on YouTube. Very easy to find the Bird Emergency. Just look for the Bird Emergency on Twitter, not on Twitter, on YouTube, and it always comes up. I'll get the birdemergency.com/YouTube link working. It is down today, otherwise I would have been promoting it. I'll get that working again today. I broke the website yesterday. So a bit of time, I'll get that up again today. H2 Rider. Yesterday I got an email from H2 Rider, Murray, and he'd been on a walk and was stumped by a bird that was being chased by cormorants, being harassed. It was very clear from the photo what it was. So I'm glad I sorted that one out for you. Really great bird, the white-necked heron. Really striking. You'll often see them. Well, hopefully you don't see them when you're driving, but if you're a passenger in a vehicle, as you drive through the country, you'll often just see this white neck upright on the edge of farm dams, and they move around a lot. So you'll, So now that you've seen it, you'll see it all the time. Betty. Now that's great. So you've got a tractor to dig the holes. That's great. So it's always good when you're on a large scale project having mechanical help digging the holes. You've got a bird list of Goulburn. Okay, I'm really interested in what you've got on your own property. I do a list each day. Good. Wildcat. Yes. You can trap cats, I think. We actually that's a whole nother episode, isn't it? I don't know what the rules are with your council, but you can trap cats. The problem is with 130 acres, if you've got one, you'll have many. But it has got my thinking cap on now. I am wondering how we can best give you some ideas of how to deal with that. Cats are by far the biggest problem for people who are doing re-veg work, of re-establishing, remediating habitat, such as yourself there, Betty. But I'm, we might do some concentrating on the air on Goulburn. Just have a look. I can see there's some more Twitterers on, so let me put this up again, just so people, if you're on Twitter, you can join on YouTube. That would be my preference because we're having those issues with Facebook Live today. Join on YouTube. I'll fill you in too. I can now do streams with all the content into Instagram as well. So my first seen and heards. Hello, Naomi. Thanks for the Facebook like. Naomi, I know you're watching on. I know you're on Facebook. Tell me, am I frozen for you on Facebook, or are you getting the stream as normal? It may be a bandwidth width issue for you, Betty, and if it is, I can't really do anything about that. So Naomi, I would love to know that. Okay, so it's a Facebook issue. Okay, it's a Facebook issue. Yeah, that's Naomi. I don't know if you caught the earlier bit, but what I'm going to do is replay the this session just to Facebook later in the day, so it'll be there for you to be able to watch, and maybe not maybe without doing the multi streaming to all the different platforms. Maybe the video will work. Yeah, sorry about that. H2 Rider, or otherwise known as Stormy or Murray, we've seen foxes, cats, and black rats in the area. Yeah, they are the normal problems, pest problems in suburbia. There's no easy way to deal with them. There's just no easy way to deal with them. It's such a problem. All right. I'll just wait a little while longer. Any other comments or questions? Any questions? Naomi, did you see the presentation of the pro? Oh no, I was frozen, so no, you couldn't have seen it. We'll get this video up so you can all join in. Reminder that I'm doing a recap of the conservation year tomorrow. I think 12:30 is my start time, so I'll start the stream at around 12:30, and we'll probably start the conversation and having some fun at around 1:00 in the afternoon. Same thing on New Year's Day, only on New Year's Day I want to be far more positive and look ahead and share with all of you. I would like all of you to tell me what your hopes are, anything you might be planning on doing to advance conservation in 2024, and maybe tomorrow if you are joining me on stream tomorrow. Tell me your big frustrations and your letdowns for the year, or even if you thought there were any big wins for the year. We'll take it from there. I'll also let you know too, just because I'm looking up at you now and my screen is over here. Hopefully in the next week, it depends on when people are working and when deliveries come, I'll have the camera over here set with the screen, so I'm not always doing this. Anyway, that's how the sausage is made. Okay. Any further comments? People are coming in. All the Twitter. They're all happening on Twitter again. Let me put the thing on. I'm letting you know, Twitter, or X. I'm letting you know. You can't tell me things. You can't comment. You can't ask questions. You can't do stuff on Twitter. So please consider joining on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch if you are into Twitch. That would be better. Also setting up automatic moderation for the chats on the various platforms, because sometimes sometimes it's a bit fruity. Betty, 2 king parrots yesterday. What do I need to plant for their food source? Okay, Betty, how about I do a stream on king parrots, rosellas, things like red rump parrots, and for if you're further out in the sticks, other size. So we're talking small, medium size parrots. Would that be a good idea? We'll do that. I don't want to just throw out the names now. I'll prepare something so you can see the grasses, the shrubs, some of the small trees, and I'll also give you an idea of what you can do for supplemental feeding, which is beneficial, not damaging. Would you be happy with that? I think that would be better. Naomi says notifications came late. Yeah, that is happening frequently. So what I'm trying to do, I was a bit tardy. I forgot to turn the stream on early while I was making coffee and whatnot. But what I'll try and do, I notice more and more people are doing this when they're live streaming, is I will maybe start the live stream at 9 o'clock, but I won't actually come on board, actually, drop the video or drop the background, the start streaming screen, until 9:40 or something. I might even start it an hour earlier, just so everyone's out there, and I might set up a special screen where we replay some highlights from earlier things while we're waiting for today's stream. That might be a good idea. Okay, so Betty, yes, okay, that's Betty's made the comment. Sounds amazing for the parrot special. Yes, we'll do that. Okay, we will do that, and Self-Requested would like that too. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll separate out small and medium parrots from cockatoos, because that's a whole different question. Yeah, and how I might do this, I'll give us some thought. I might create a video, like an instructional video, and we might play that in the stream, and then I can be here for questions. But then the video is always there for people to find. Oh yes, Stormy, thanks for reminding me. Yes, remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed, or follow, or like, and smash that like button. But because we're a bird or channel, we're going, peck that like button. Peck that like button. Thanks for the reminder there, Stormy. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm building into the workflow. I've got a couple of priorities at the moment. I got a message the other day on Twitter. Someone who just found, because I haven't really been participating on Twitter for a while, and I dropped off the First Seen and Heard, which actually come back on the 1st of January. And I'm going to experiment with that to try and get some more growth, hit some more people, get the cool kids on TikTok, and get more people into birds and more people into conservation of birds. That's really the plan. Anyway, this person messaged me and said, "Oh, so much content on the channel." But because I haven't really been paying any attention to actually all the best practices for YouTube, is that they're all in this tab for live streams, and I haven't actually uploaded the separate videos. So that's what I'm going through at the moment, doing is uploading the separate videos, which are easier for people to find, but then linking those out to other things. So it's going to take a bit of time, but that's the priority. But I want to make more of these short videos for these little special purposes. So there we go. We've got the parrot one, and we've got the plant list for my project here. So I will try and get that plant project here made today. Proviso, I do have to go out shortly and go to the shops, and depending on how long it takes me while I'm out and getting back, that will determine how much time I have today. But it may not go up till tomorrow. But the plan is to get it up today. But I'll schedule a replay of today's stream so that you can watch it on YouTube, on Facebook, and not see the, will not be frozen. But I'll trim off the front so you don't have to watch the boring bits at the front. Okay. Stormy, I'm glad that. Well, thanks for sending me that. I'm always happy for people to send me the pictures if they want an ID. I'm pretty good. I'm not the bear. I'm not the world's best expert, but I'm not expecting any of you to be sending me very difficult sandpipers or something coming in. Oh, Betty, amazing. Had over 100 yellow-tailed black cockies come in and feed on the Banksias. Now, you could have a number of Banksias there. You could have Banksia serrata, Banksia integrifolia, Banksia collina, Banksia spinulosa. Tell me what you planted. Yeah, to see the first 10 call, then more come from every corner. Beyond amazing. Yeah, that is. Cockatoos are fantastic. I mean, I have corellas, little corellas, long-billed corellas, sulphur-crested cockatoos, galahs here, and that's what happens. They're out on their scouting, and if one of them finds something good, they screech out, and then before you know it, there's a dozen or more in. And well, when I was feeding in the park, I was getting hundreds too coming in, a bit of a mixture, but I'm not feeding currently in the park. I'm still wondering about it. I'm starting to think that as long as I'm not just putting out this huge plate of feed, as long as it's scattering and they're still foraging, it's great for the kids because the park is heavily used by kids. It's great for them to get to see the birds up close. 40 different Banksias. Yeah, that's why I'm so jealous. I'm a big Banksia fan. Love Banksias and Dryandras. Planted 6 years ago. Betty, I am really, really jealous of you. I'm going to be saying that forever. But I hope we can follow along with your project, and perhaps you could, maybe we can talk about your place in particular, and maybe you could send me some photos and we can really talk about what you're doing and what people think, and maybe suggestions, and we can just be amazed at the effort you've been putting in and the results you've been getting. Maybe we can talk about any problems that you might have had as well along the way, challenges that you've had to overcome. All right. Well, I think that's about as far as I think we can take it today, unless you've got any specific questions or specific comments. I better go out and wrestle the crowds. I need to get to the supermarket, and I need to buy a particular thing that I need at one of the big box stores. So I'm sure that'll be a less than enjoyable situation today. As always, I am appreciative of you coming in and joining us on the stream. I look forward to our conversations and our discussions. We need to come up with a name, a collective name for the habitat gardening crew. We have the Riot Squad for the bird emergency streams. I've been working on merch, Riot Squad merch, and I think it's not far off, folks. So, yeah. So what's coming up next week? Next week, First Seen and Heard comes back. Dawn Chorus comes back next week. I'll be restarting the members only shows, and I don't expect that there'll be any guests next week. I think everybody's still away, but I think we'll be getting back into doing some guest shows from about the middle of January. And if you hadn't caught up, Holly is on long service leave until April. So Mondays will still be a fairly similar format. We'll be talking mostly about urban birds, but I'm broadening it a little bit more to be urban biodiversity, and that will be the theme for the first 4 months of the year, for sure. And then we'll see how we go when Holly is back working, back on deck. Always up for your suggestions, you know that. Suggestions, comments. When I get the website should be back up working today, and then we go back to the old bird emergency email, and you can send me anything. Great Naomi, yes, it's going to be crazy out with the matting crowd. It's not too bad where I go, but I'm trying really hard. I still haven't caught COVID, and I'm trying really hard to not catch COVID. I'm getting the next booster, the upgraded shot, but I can't get it until middle of Jan. So I'm being really careful with these crowds because COVID's just gone crazy again out here, everyone. Okay, Naomi, I'm glad you're looking forward to tomorrow's show. There's a lot of things that I want to go through. It could be 6 hours. Who knows? I'm glad you'll have watched the repeat. It's always good to catch up with you. Betty, did you do a talk on frogs? No, I didn't do the frog one. My guest that was coming on had to pull out, and I couldn't reschedule anyone else. So there is a frog one coming up, but I'm going to make a video that we can play and then talk about. I didn't think it was particularly useful for me to just talk about frogs without a frog expert and someone who could provide some visuals to go along with having the chat. So that's coming up. I will be doing as much as I can about frogs in the context of gardens because it's so important. Same with pollinators and other insects and arthropods, but it's just harder to just talk about them because people don't visualize the differences in the same way that they do with plants and birds because we all have greater familiarity with plants and birds. So, yeah, Betty, you haven't missed anything. The newsletter is almost up and running too. I dropped the ball a bit on that. Look, I'll tell the secret. When I got back from being away with Millie, I got quite crook, but I also over 10 years since I had a really bad bout of depression, but right through from being a teenager, right through my 20s, 30s, and into my 40s, I suffered with some pretty bad depression. For me, it comes in this big thud where I just I just don't function, and it's been 10 years since I've had it, and while it wasn't as bad as all that, it just sapped my motivation. So nothing happened for a couple of months. Um, so, but over it, and again, the pattern with me is now it probably be 10 years until it happens again. Um, so yeah, so there we go. No excuses, just reasons. I mean, there are reasons for it, and nobody likes having that stuff going on, but that's just been the way of my life, right? So you just have to live with it, and I do. Stormy H2 Rider, Perrin's tree frog. So this is why I didn't want to do just a discussion about frogs. Perrin's tree frog is not one I know, um, so I really wanted to tie it in with someone who's a real total frog nerd, and the Frog ID app and all the other great things that are happening, and some other resources about gardening, gardens, and public spaces with frogs. So, but that's coming. Frogs, lizards, mammals, all the things. Bats. Really keen to do a lot about bats. They're really important from a pollinator point of view. Um, so, what is that? Can you hear that? Hey Google, stop. Gee, I don't know where that music's coming from, but I've got music coming from somewhere. It's not my phone. I don't know. It must be the TV. Must be my housemate. Um, uh, Naomi, yeah, yeah. Look, depression is terrible when it hits. Um, yeah, Naomi, thanks for that. Look, I'm quite open about it now. It's nobody else's drama, but I just like to. I mean, because we are, you know, have we're in this parasocial relationship with the streaming. It's just a fact of life. Sometimes just the way it is for me. When I can generally feel when it's coming, and most times I can just tweak my energy levels or my diet or something and stay on top of it. But if I don't, it's really quite severe. Nothing like I used to get in my 20s. That was like the worst, 20s and 30s. Um, so I consider myself really fortunate that since then it's been quite manageable. But I think I was run down and I was sick, and I think that um, sort of snapped it or combined it all together to make it really demotivating for a time. So yeah, so I mean, look, it's not the ideal way. Uh, yeah, it's not ideal when you're trying to crank out content. Um, but I did make a decision that I wasn't going to be getting up at 5 o'clock and rushing around to try and do the first seen and heard, and to what I was doing, creating. I was creating 6 little videos every morning, and then researching for something else, and I just thought, no, you need a break. So I had a break, but now I'm got my energy levels back to normal. So we've strayed quite a bit from habitat gardening, hey, don't you think? Um, oh, and the other thing I'll let you know too is, um, we've got this issue with Facebook this morning that not working, but I am producing the show in a slightly different way. So we're going to be seeing more presentations and me bringing more things in and making it far more visual and rather than just me sitting here going hello with my one screen or the way I've been doing with the two heads in an interview. It's going to try and be a lot more dynamic and also a lot more flattering for the people that come on the show, and then a lot more usable to get out to other platforms, because as you would know, the whole point of doing it is to spread the word. It's all about spreading the word, so more people care, and that we actually can then hopefully stop the steam train that's heading down a hill at such a rapid pace that we're going to lose so many species, and that our quality of life, I think, is going to become far, far less. So anyway, the idea is to get more people to care and more people to do something. Okay, that is going to be it. Thanks, everyone. Naomi, Stormy, Betty, Sulphur Crested. Who else did we get in the comments? And all, there we go. I think that's about it. What's Naomi? My frogs are going crazy in the pond. Okay, you've got the banjo frog, brown tree frog, and marsh frog. So yeah, we do need to do more frogs. So, cicadas are going crazy. That's good. Question for all of you. Final one for today. Have you got any Christmas beetles in your area? There is a citizen science project which I forgot to look up, but I might reference it tomorrow. Somebody is looking for records of Christmas beetles. I haven't seen any in my part of town, but keep your eyes out for that. Yeah. All right, folks. Betty hasn't seen any Christmas beetles outside of Goulburn. Janice. Hello, Janice. Okay, you're sending me a message on Facebook Messenger. Okay, I will check that later. I might say, Janice, Facebook Messenger is my least favourite place to do interactions, because for some reason I can't separate bird stuff from personal stuff, and I get so much rubbish on Facebook Messenger. I just don't check it, to be honest. So I will look for your message later on. But if you do use another messaging service or email or something, would always be better. Yeah, Facebook is, unless it comes through on these comments like now, I always look. But yes, Janice, I will have a look, and good to see you again too, by the way. And Naomi, no Christmas beetles. Okay, so it's in iNaturalist. I might highlight that on tomorrow's show and on Monday's show. Citizen science is something we're going to be doing more of. Oh, can you hear that? That's one of my housemates. That's Shadow, and he's discussing life with the dogs next door, but they're not replying. He's getting very upset. Okay, well, there we go. That's a really good cue for getting out of here. God, how many times have I tried to say goodbye? Thanks, everyone. Naomi, Janice, I will be checking out that Facebook message when I've got out and done my shopping, and I'll see what's what. I will be back, be replay later today. The short video of the plants we're considering for my project will be up either later today or tomorrow morning, and then streaming tomorrow and What's tomorrow? Sunday? Tomorrow and Monday. Okay, see you everyone. Thanks.